Hello, hello. Hello. Okay. Really excited about the listener question that we got in recently that I'm going to be talking about. So first, my name is Ashley Nicole Kirkwood. That's my middle name, y'all, Nicole, in case y'all didn't know. I'm the host of the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast, founder of Speak Your Way to Cash, the coldest executive high performance coaching company on the planet for speakers, experts, and entrepreneurs who want to get more out of their efforts and grow their businesses. Basically, in short, what we do is help speakers land their first or next largest speaking contract. And then on the corporate side, I speak myself. I deliver my signature speech, The Currency of Confidence, and or the Love Method of Communication to colleges and corporations nationwide. And I absolutely love what I do in that space. So just call me a communications expert, an executive coach, and someone who is here to give you the answers that you've been seeking. So I'm just going to get right into it. Matter of fact, I'm going to get right into it. I got this question in and I absolutely loved the question. Can I share with you guys the question? And for those of you who are joining live, you're not just listening to this on the podcast. Shout out to the podcast listeners. Thank you for leaving us those awesome reviews, guys. We appreciate it. If you're live, tag someone who should hear this. Tag someone on Instagram or on Facebook who should hear this message. Here's the question. How do you stay motivated to keep going when you don't see results? How do you stay motivated to keep going when you don't see results? Such a good question. I absolutely love that question. I may even put it on the board in the video. How do you stay motivated to keep going when you don't see results? Has anyone ever felt like they needed the answer to that question? If so, drop a yes in the comments. If you felt like, yep, I need to know. And I'll wait. For those of you listening on the podcast, just think about it. Have you ever had a time where you were working towards a goal and you didn't know how to stay motivated when you weren't seeing results? Okay. This is what we're talking about today. And I'm excited about this question. First off, if you want to know how to ask your question or get your question answered on the show, make sure you write in. Just email me at ashley@speakyourwaytocash.com. Easiest way to do it. So the question on the table is, how do you stay motivated to keep going when you don't see results? And I wanted to approach this question specifically for me, what I do. And then I wanted to share with you guys an analogy that I started researching in seeking the clearest way to answer this question. Y'all ready for that? All right. First of all, I have 3 things that I do to stay motivated when I don't feel like I'm seeing results. Number 1, I have to remind myself that the work is the reward. And this goes to something that we talked about on the last episode, which is if it's very hard to endure. It's hard to endure in general, just in general. It's hard to endure. But it is really hard to endure and to have perseverance and to be resilient when you're doing something you don't love to do. Incredibly difficult, even more difficult than it would be to endure if you loved what you do. None of it's easy, but it is particularly difficult to persevere when you're doing something that you don't feel a push to do or a pull to do or a call to do. So number 1, I have to realize that the very work that I'm doing is the reward. I have to remember that if I'm helping one person, then that's the reward. And every time someone tells me, hey, Ashley, you changed my life. Hey, Ashley, I read your book. That's so encouraging to me, but that's not promised. I have to remind myself that even if no one says thank you, I'm doing what I'm put on this earth to do. And so doing the work day to day is the reward. That's number 1. Number 2, I fully and completely yield and believe in spiritual laws. Fully, completely. Okay. Now, I don't know what you believe, right? I'm not trying to convert nobody, but unless you want that, right? But what I personally believe is that there are natural laws, which we know, I'm a lawyer, whoop, whoop, natural laws. And then there are spiritual laws, things that you may not find, in a legal book. You'll find them in the Bible, but you may not see them every day. People may not talk about them every day, but they're things that govern what happens in the earth. Let me explain. One of the spiritual laws that I fully believe in is that when I plant good seed on good soil, it'll grow. And we also see that in the natural. We also see that in the natural. When you are putting in the right efforts towards the right goal and you're consistent, you will see results. And let me tell you something else. Can I be honest about something? If you put in consistent effort and it's the wrong action, you're still going to see some results. If you move just a little bit consistently over time, you're going to see some results. Now, the question was, how do you keep going and stay motivated when you don't see results? Well, one of the things that you have to consider is that your definition of results might be incorrect. And why do I say that? Because most people only value results by the money in their bank account or by how many clients they're getting. But in the very beginning stages of your business, in seed form, you should be judging. These are the results that I would look at. I'd be like, okay, I had a client call, they didn't sign on, but what did I learn? Maybe this isn't my market. And then I had to be honest with myself and say, instead of speaking against an entire industry or an entire group of people, I had to get specific and almost like laser like I don't even know. I'm trying to think of a stronger word for it. I had to get control and dominance over my tongue, over what I said. Here's what I mean. Instead of saying, I ain't getting no clients this month. Why declare that? Why not say, I was able to meet some amazing people that could easily convert to clients, or I learned about an industry that I shouldn't be targeting, so I'm further along. That's still a result. It's still a result. So even if your result isn't, I made all this money, or I landed all these clients, or I got all this recognition, or so many people said they loved me this month, if the result that you got this month was learning that you should not be doing something that you're doing, you're still further along. So you have to get clear about how you're measuring success, and you may need to expand the results that you're seeking. Because if I never learned who my ideal clients were, I could have never landed the clients of my dream. If I never first landed that $100 speaking engagement that I talk about in the Speak Your Way to Cash book, I would have never landed the $17,000 45-minute virtual talk contract. If I never learned that selling a $20 ebook wasn't my path to riches, I would have never converted to providing higher level solutions for a clientele that was ready to receive them. If I never learned how to get rejected 19 plus thousand times via my inside sales job, I would have never learned that rejection isn't of me, but of my offer. Look, I understand that everyone wants to be successful. Some of us want to be successful to provide for our families. And I should clarify, I understand that some of us want to make a lot of money, and that's okay. I know that sometimes for you, money may represent security. It can represent your kid going to a better school, and it's a serious matter. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to make a lot of money. But money is not the only measure of success. It's not. I don't care what they tell you. It's not. The fact that you're sleeping better this year than last year is a result and a measure of success. And let me tell you something else. The more you are able to identify who you should be selling to, how you should be selling to them, and who you should be ignoring, you will have more success in the future. Literally, spiritual law says that if I consistently plant seeds on good ground, I will reap a harvest. What it doesn't tell me is exactly when that harvest will come. So if I can find joy in the work that I'm doing, then I'm going to be okay. But for you guys, whoever, the person who wrote this question, you have to make sure that you are constantly guarding this. Because if you don't guard this, you won't see the harvest that you want anyways. I have an uncle, I'm really blessed. My family is great. My uncle happens to own a very successful multi-seven-figure mortgage company, real estate company. Does really well. And I was asking him, how did you make it? How did you do it? How did you get there? What did it look like? How much work did you put in? And he was explaining his sales process, all the things he did. He said he did a couple of things. One, he got really good at sales, really good at prospecting, and consistently generated leads while maintaining his current client base. Rules that I've lived by to grow my business. Secondly, he said he invested in himself. He paid for a high-level mastermind so that he could learn his craft. I've always invested in myself, and you should too. To be clear, a lot of people will invest themselves with time, but they won't invest with themselves in money. Whatever you value is what you should invest to get the biggest return on that investment. So if I don't value my time, but I spend all my time watching videos and watching and reading books on certain topics, I will never see a return on that investment because I'm not investing anything of value. Do you understand that? Let me break down. If you don't care about your time and the only thing you're investing in getting better is time, because you don't value the thing you're investing, you'll never grow. If you value your money and you're tight with your money, but you release it and you invest money because you value that money, you will do the work to get a return on that money. The issue that I see with people is they want to invest whatever is easiest for them to invest. And when you do that, you're not putting enough fire behind yourself. You're not putting enough pressure on yourself to see a return in that investment because you don't value what you've invested. If I invest my time in a person, in developing a place, or in learning anything, because I value my time, I'm going to see a return on that investment. But because I know that I want to see astronomical returns on my investment, I invest both my time and my money and my talent because I can expect a return on that. So that's what he told me. But look at this. I want to show you guys this. For those of you on IG, I don't know if you'll see it, but I'm going to show you as well. Let's see if I can. Okay, so check this out. This is a picture of someone like planting seeds, right? Let's say this is someone planting seeds. I want to do an analogy with this because I researched something. Let me get y'all back. I researched something that I really want to share with you guys, and I know it'll be really, really powerful and impactful for you. There was I'm gonna share this. When you are planting seeds, over the pandemic, my husband started planting seeds and tending to plants and doing all that stuff. On IG, let me know if you can still hear me. If you plant a seed, the worst thing that you can do is start going outside every day and digging it up to see if it's made any progress. That's the worst thing that you can do. And what I find is because we're in such an instant society, because we're in such a get rich quick society and make all your money in 10 days or make it all in 5 days and everyone wants micro content, because we're not used to perseverance or enduring and we haven't built that muscle because of social, myself included, like it's a lot harder to focus now. Because it's a lot harder to focus now, what I find is that we aren't focused on the things that we need to be focused on. So I looked up the 5 things that can kill a seed because I was researching this and I was like, man, how can I illustrate spiritual principles and how can I teach about the things you need to do to protect your dream, to protect your vision, to cultivate that dream and to cultivate that vision? There are 5 things that can kill a seed. One, and this is like a real seed. Like if you're growing vegetables or something, this is what can literally attack your seeds. 1, it can wash away. 2, it can freeze. Wrong environment. 3, coating and casing can be breached. 4, seed predators. 5, it can be planted too deep. So I was looking up the things that can kill a seed, and those are the 5 things that can kill a seed. And for those of you that have dreams, aspirations, ambitions, you're looking to grow your speaking business, these 5 things can also impair or inhibit your ability to go after your dreams and wants. So the first thing that I looked up and saw, real talk, did this research and found the first thing that can kill a seed is that it can wash away. One of the things that I see, and when I read this, I was like, oh, this is just like when we get disinterested in something. So we have a goal, we have a dream, we have an ambition, but then we learn all the things that it's going to take to get it done. And so the seed has been planted because we have the dream, we have the goal, we have the ambition. But when we learn all the things that it takes to actually fulfill it, we get disinterested. So the interest washes away, the seed washes away. So you never reach your result. Some people don't stay interested long enough to realize the results that they want. So when you're feeling like you're not seeing results, be careful. Make sure it's not your mind playing tricks on you to get you disinterested so you can just hop to the next thing. All greatness takes time. It's going to take time, guys. I'm not one of those coaches or consultants that'll tell you, hey, come in here. It's going to take 3 days, no effort. You'll get it watching on Netflix. It won't be a big. No, it's going to take time. It's going to take effort. It's going to take dedication. 2, it can freeze. If the seed freezes, it'll die. Look, some people, some of you listening to this may feel like you're not getting the results you want because you're frozen by fear. You're frozen by fear. Every little idea that you have is halted because you immediately start to think about all the ways it can go wrong. Some people are frozen by fear. 3, coating and casing. This is really interesting. So it basically means if you are rough with the handling of the seed before it's planted, it can oftentimes die. I believe there were some things in my past that I had to have right perspective over in order for me to reach where I'm going in life. And there may be some of you, I don't know, because y'all families may be 100% perfect and you may not have ever had anything in your life that happened that made you feel like you were less than who you were destined to be. But if you're listening to this and you are feeling like it's really hard to control your thoughts, look at your past. Look at the things that you were told growing up. Look at the environment that you were born into. If it didn't cultivate you, if you weren't handled properly, then you need to figure out a right perspective of your past that serves your future. No matter how bad it was, no matter how good it was, it needs to serve your future. Because you can grow up with everything and still feel like the world is entitled, like you're entitled to get certain things because you did A, B, and C. That's not going to help you or serve you either. So make sure that you have the right perspective of your past. The 4th thing was really interesting. It said that seed predators, birds can come and eat the seed. Now look, when I read this, it immediately made me think about the heart-centered entrepreneur. Anyone identify as a heart-centered entrepreneur? If you identify as a heart-centered entrepreneur, let me know. Because when I thought about the predators that can come and eat the seed, I thought about people who are heart-centered and who put their gifts out in front of any and everybody with absolutely no qualifications. And so you open yourself up to criticism, critique, ridicule, and theft by people who you weren't even supposed to be serving. A lot of people choose their audiences out of guilt, shame, fear, ease. Like, I just want to serve whoever will listen. Oh, I don't think this is what happens. Some people choose their audiences like this. I don't think they'll reject me, so I'll serve them. People literally, I don't think they'll reject me, so I'm going to choose the audience that I don't think will reject me. I'm going to choose the audience that'll say I'm smart even when I'm wrong. I'm going to choose the audience that won't challenge me. And what happens is you choose an audience you're not supposed to serve. You're not even graced to serve. If you're graced to serve it, then this isn't for you. But for those of you who are constantly frustrated, constantly angry, constantly feeling disengaged, constantly feeling like I'm being taken advantage of, but you are addicted to being taken advantage of because you keep putting yourself in position to be taken advantage of, just know that audience can very well eat your seed. Very well, you're giving it to them on a plate. You're allowing them to eat your seed. And what happens and what I find is that the fear of being rejected keeps us from serving the people that we are graced to serve and that we are equipped to serve. Some of you have gone to college, grad school, read books, wrote books, done all the things, but fear of rejection is keeping you serving an audience that you may like, that you may be good at, but that doesn't challenge you. Some people's entire business is built around, what can I do so that I can be seen as great and I never get challenged? Who can I serve that will never call me out? Who can I serve that'll never call me up? Who can I serve that won't place hard requirements on me? Who can I serve that won't require me to grow as a person? Who can I serve that won't require good leadership? Who can I serve that even if they challenge me, because they've paid so little to access my time and my services, I can simply refund and disregard? But you're here, you're listening to this podcast, and so there's something in you. You may have read the Speak Your Way to Cash book. There's something in you that wants to serve a different audience, but fear is holding you back. So you want to think about that as well. The fifth thing that can that can kill a seed, natural seed, if you're planting it, is that it's planted too deep. It's planted too deep. It's hiding. It's not planted, it's hiding. So you're great at what you do. You're excellent at what you do, but you're hiding. You're hiding. People don't know that you're that great. You don't use your voice. It's planted too deep. It's not that you're planted. It's not that you're content. It's not that you're on good soil. It's that you're scared and you're hiding. So in meetings, in your corporate meetings, you have the answer, you have the solution, but you won't speak up. Online, you could be showing up fully and powerfully, but you're scared that no one will show up, so you don't say anything at all. You could be writing books, you could be speaking on stages, you could be putting yourself out there, but you're hiding. And then, you know what you do? I ain't saying no names. This is what some people do. I ain't gonna say no names. I ain't even gonna look. I could do that better than her. I could do that better than him. I have more substance than her. I have more substance than him. But you're hidden. You're not planted, you're hidden. Very different. Very different. If all of these things can kill, and this is why I love spiritual law, because there's typically a natural parallel. If all these things can kill seeds in the natural, like literally, if I were to plant a seed, any one of these things could kill the seed. It could wash away, it could freeze, the coating and casing could be breached, predators could eat the seed, it could be planted too deep. If all those things could kill a seed in the natural, what do you think they'll do to your seed? Like your dreams, your aspirations, your ambitions, these parallel exactly. So when people ask me, how do you stay motivated to keep going when you don't see results? Number one, the work is the reward. I change my view of what results look like. I have an expansive view of what results look like. Absolutely, the money will come. But I know the money will come. I have faith that the money will come. As long as I'm consistently growing, moving forward, taking action, the money will come. I believe in spiritual law. That says, I plant good seed on good soil, it will produce a harvest. Seeds may start hidden, but the harvest eventually is above ground. So it's just a matter of time. When you're moving forward and you're investing your time, your talent, and your treasure, you can expect a return. When I didn't know what would happen, like my last event, you guys, it was incredible. Speak Your Way to Cash Live is incredible. You should be there 100%. This year it'll be in November. The 3rd through the 5th, you can go to speakyourwaytocash.com/event to get on the wait list. Limited VIP in-person tickets, and they will go fast. So last year for the event, this was my first time doing an event of this magnitude. It was a huge event. I had invested over $100,000 in producing this event. It was the most I'd ever spent in investing in an event, hands down. It was scary. Can we be honest? It was scary. And every day I would get a bill, but every day I wouldn't necessarily get a registration. And I was doing all the things that I knew how to do without totally burning out. Because here's the thing about events. You put on a big event, you promote the event hardcore, and then at the end of all that promotion, if you're me, you also perform the event. Like I coached the women and the men that attended for 3 days. I'm gonna do it again this year. But you put all this effort into promotion and all this stuff, and then you have to perform. So you can't burn out during the promotion track. And I'm getting bills. They're stacking up. At one point I was like, here's the car. I don't even know how much we're spending. We did our budget for this year and looked at all the numbers from last year. We spent well over $150,000. So here's the thing. Money's coming out. We're getting some registrations, but not what I expected, if I'm being honest. And there came a moment where I was like, okay. I prayed a prayer to God. I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I prayed because I remember. It was like, God, I have invested my time in making this event a success. 40 plus hours a week have gone just to this event. And I was at the time fully running another company as well. I've invested my talent in making this event a success. I've shown up live. I've talked to the people. I've given them good information. I've written an entire book, wrote also an entire workbook, developed a curriculum, gotten clients results, helped people make hundreds of thousands of more dollars than they ever would have made without our system. I've invested my talent in this. And I was like, well, God, since I've invested my time and I've invested my talent and I've invested my treasure, spent over 6 figures on making this event a success, I know that there will be a return. And so instead of looking at what's not working, I'm going all in on believing in the return based on spiritual law. So every day I'd wake up and I would listen to Mike Todd's Crazy Faith series. I would listen to gospel music. I would get my mind right. I would take my baths. I would focus my efforts and my energy because here's what I know as someone who sells things. If I don't protect my mindset and I bring that, I call it, thank you so much for doing business with me energy into any environment, it will repel powerful people. And I serve powerful people. So I had to protect my mind. Eventually, there will be a harvest that everyone can see. Mark my words. If you are putting in work, if you are putting in efforts, and you feel like the seed that is planted that is unseen, you're not getting the accolades, you're not on TV, you're not being promoted by influencers, you don't have the money to invest in ads, whatever your situation is, I can promise you that every single seed that bears fruit, good seed on good soil, it does so above ground eventually. So that recognition that you want, that applause that you want, that fame that you want, if your seeds are planted on good ground, there is no way for it not to produce a harvest that is visible. I'm not talking about invisible. Like some people like, you'll be repaid in love and kindness. Well, that's cool too, but like you gonna get, like, there's going to be a visible return on your investment. Someone said, what's the thanks so much for doing business with me energy? So in the book, I talk in a portion of the book, I talk about having something called a power seat. And what that means is that when you walk into a negotiation or when you're negotiating with a client, although you're doing them a service and you're grateful for their business, if you are a service provider that provides a solution to a problem, they too should be, glad to do business with you. So all that means is I don't go into any situation or any environment and beg for business. I don't go in thinking that people are doing me a favor by working with me. They're not. People hire me for a solution. They're not doing it to support my dreams. They're doing it because they believe I can help them get theirs. And so there's a quality to this thing that sometimes people miss when they're in sales. Some people think if someone takes a call with them, they're doing them a favor. Some people believe if someone buys from them, they're giving them support. But the truth is, every person on this planet is self-interested in some way, which means if you buy from me, it's because you believe I have a solution that can help you. Keeping that perspective helps me to show up powerfully on sales calls with gratitude, but also knowing that I am bringing something to the table that will benefit this person. Which means that if for whatever reason it doesn't work out, if I keep having solutions, I will always have a way to benefit another person. So that's all that means. It's in the book. I don't know what page it is, but it's I detailed it more in the book, but that was the answer to your question. But yes, y'all, like, here's the thing, guys. I hope this analogy was helpful to show us or to focus our energy and our efforts. All of you are learning every time you market and every time you sell, regardless of the end result. You're learning and you're growing and you're developing, and it may not feel like it now, but all of that culminates into visible results for your business. Sometimes you're in a phase where you have to do the learning so that you can do the tweaking, so that you can get that laser focus. Thank you so much, Mary. So that you can do that laser, you get that laser focus that you need in order to really blow up your business and start optimizing and start iterating, which we talked a lot about at the event. We don't start over every year. We analyze the year and we iterate on last year's successes to reach the next level of results. Okay. So we've covered how do you stay motivated to keep going when you don't see results. 1, redefine results. 2, the work is the reward. 3, I believe in spiritual law. And then the last thing I'm going to leave you guys with, really powerful. I want you to write this down, put it on a sticky note on your desk if you have one. Every day I can, I do it for every day I can't. Look, if you have breath in your body, if you have the ability of your limbs, if you have the ability to speak out of your mouth, to see with your eyes, to hear with your ears, if you have the ability to do something, you have the ability to share your voice, share your message, share what you're doing, you have the ability to prospect, sell, and grow your business, you have the ability to market. Every day you have that ability is a gift. Do it on that day for every day you won't have that ability. I am of no mind that life, like, I know life can happen. And because I know life can happen and that life moves fast, and now we got COVID and everything else that we're dealing with right now, because I know that all those things can happen, if I wake up and I'm in my right mind and I have the ability to get after my dreams, to share my message, to help someone else, I'm doing it. And I'm doing it and I'm storing up that consistency for times when I can't. Like, we caught COVID. And for the first couple of days, like, I wasn't able to do a live video and do, you know what I mean? I wasn't able to do all of that, but you all wouldn't have known because we were able to consistently put out content that I already had. The team was well oiled. We had SOPs. We were able to keep going because every day I can, I do it for every day I can't. And so if you're watching this and you're lacking motivation, let that be your motivation, that there may come a day where you can't do it. But if today you can, you do it for the day you can't. All right. I hope this was helpful. If you all have any questions, anything at all, please email Ashley@speakyourwaytocash.com. I'm more than happy to answer your questions and get them on the show if we can. And if this was good and helpful, please do share it with someone who needs it. And I'll talk to you guys soon.